What if love didn't need words to be heard or eyes to be seen? The extraordinary love story of Tochi and Mimi speaks louder than words and shines brighter than sight. Stay tuned, as their journey will challenge everything you believe about love, resilience, and the power of the human spirit. In the peaceful village of Obaira, nestled between rolling hills and shimmering rivers, two souls stood apart from the rest. Tochi, a boy blind from birth, lived in a world shaped by sound and touch. His king guided him, but his spirit shone brighter than the sun, endearing him to the kind-hearted in the village. On the other side of Obaira lived Mimi, a girl born deaf and mute. Her inability to hear or speak had made her the subject of pity, but her expressive eyes and graceful gestures spoke volumes. Though they had never met, Tochi and Mimi shared a bond in their solitude, for the village saw their disabilities as burdens rather than blessings. The first meeting between Tochi and Mimi happened by the riverbank, a sacred place in Obaira believed to be the dwelling of Oloko, the goddess of unity. Mimi often came there to escape the village's noise, tracing patterns in the sand with her fingers. One day, Tochi arrived at the river with his younger sister, who had guided him there to fetch water. As Mimi watched him, she noticed how his hands moved carefully, feeling the shape of the jug before he began filling it. Curious, she picked up a pebble and gently tossed it into the water near him. The faint splash caught Tochi's attention. He turned his head toward the sound, smiling. "Who's there?" he asked softly. Mimi hesitated, then clapped her hands to create another sound. Though she couldn't hear his words, she could feel the warmth in his tone. She smiled back, emboldened by his friendliness. Over time, their visits to the river became a shared routine. Tochi, with his heightened senses, quickly learned how Mimi communicated through gestures and facial expressions. She would guide his hands to objects, teaching him their shapes and textures, while he shared the beauty of sound with her. He mimicked birdsong by whistling, tapped rhythms on the ground to mimic rain, and described the world she couldn't hear with poetic precision. Slowly, they built a language of their own, a mix of touch, movement, and intuition. Their bond did not go unnoticed, and whispers soon spread through Udi. At the evening storytelling gatherings, villagers debated their unusual connection. "How can a blind boy and a deaf-mute girl understand each other?" one elder scoffed. "It is unnatural." "What future do they have together?" the market women gossiped. "How will they marry, raise children, or even survive?" Even their families began to question their relationship. Tochi's mother worried aloud, "You need someone who can guide you, Tochi. How can a girl who cannot speak or hear do that?" Mimi's father was equally skeptical. "You think love is enough? Life is hard enough already. This will only bring more struggles." The criticism weighed heavily on both of them. The villagers' scorn turned into cruel jokes. Children teased Mimi by mimicking her gestures, while some adults openly questioned her worth as a partner for Tochi. One day, after hearing some particularly cruel remarks from a group of traders, Tochi sat beneath the ancient Iroko tree, his heart heavy with doubt. When Mimi found him, his face was downcast. "They are right," he said quietly, his voice trembling. "What kind of life can we have? I can't see your hands, and you can't hear my voice. Maybe this isn't meant to be." Mimi's heart broke, but she didn't respond with despair. Instead, she gently placed his hand over her heart, letting him feel its steady rhythm. Then she tapped a slow, deliberate message into his palm: "We understand each other." "Isn't that enough?" Tears filled Tochi's eyes. "You've always been enough, Mimi," he whispered. From that moment, they resolved to face their challenges together. Obaira was a village rich in culture. Every evening, villagers gathered in the square to tell stories under the light of flickering oil lamps. During festivals, drums echoed across the hills, and the air filled with the aroma of jollof rice, roasted yam, and pepper soup. Weddings were grand celebrations, with families adorned in matching osoebi, and elders blessing couples with kola nuts and palm wine. The river where Tochi and Mimi met was considered sacred, a place where offerings were made to Oloko, the goddess of unity and healing. The villagers believed the river's flow mirrored the balance of their community. Yet even in such a place of harmony, Tochi and Mimi's love faced resistance. One stormy season, disaster struck. Torrential rains caused the river to overflow, threatening to flood the farmlands and homes. Villagers worked frantically to build barriers, but the waters continued to rise. In the chaos, Mimi noticed a small child trapped on a sinking patch of mud near the river. Desperate to help, she ran to the villagers, gesturing wildly, but they couldn't understand her. Frustrated and out of options, she found Tochi, who was helping stack sandbags. Guiding his hands, she drew the shape of the river in the mud and placed a stone in the center to represent the child. Tochi's face paled as realization dawned. "There's a child in danger," he asked. Mimi nodded vigorously. Without hesitation, Tochi grabbed a rope. "Lead me," he said. Together, they braved the storm. Mimi tapped his arm to guide him, while his sharp hearing pinpointed the child's cries. As the waters surged around them, they pulled the child to safety, collapsing in exhaustion on the riverbank. The villagers, who had witnessed their courage, were humbled. The elders called a meeting the next day. "We were wrong," said Mama Chika, one of the oldest women in the village. "Their love is not a weakness. It is a strength greater than any we've known." From that day forward, Tochi and Mimi were no longer seen as burdens but as symbols of unity and perseverance. Their connection inspired the villagers to embrace differences and support one another. Tochi and Mimi chose to marry at the sacred riverbank, the place where their story began. Mimi wore a brilliant geli that framed her radiant smile, while Tochi's border flowed gracefully. As part of the ceremony, they placed a calabash filled with water and flowers into the river, asking Oloko for her blessing. When it was time to exchange vows, Mimi traced her promise into Tochi's palm, and he responded with a whispered prayer. Though the words were silent to most, their gestures spoke volumes. Years later, Tochi and Mimi founded a school for children with disabilities, teaching them that differences were not barriers but opportunities to connect in unique ways. Their love story became legend in Obioma, told around evening fires as a reminder: true love is not limited by what we lack but strengthened by what we share. On quiet evenings, the couple could often be found sitting by the river, their hands intertwined, their love as steady and enduring as the flow of water.